Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to content, which was definitely not delayed in any way, shape, or form, and we definitely didn't stay up until late hours of the night waiting for it in any way, shape, or form. And also, this is definitely not completely unscripted, so there definitely won't be any weird cuts or edits for me making a complete fool of myself. Otherwise known as an Warframe update video. Now, in short, this video is going to be a very quick, to-the-point announcement video, if you will, to announce that patch 29, the Heart of Deimos, is officially here. And to celebrate that, there's lots of new content, there's lots of fancy things going on, and before we get into the depth of the patch notes, I just want to let you guys know that I will be streaming big streams through the course of this week, over the course of the Drops campaign, and everything else that's going on with this new content. So if you want to join in, if you want to take part in the streams, likely we're going to be live when you see this video. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But in short, I just wanted this video to be something to announce the new content, let you know what to expect and what to look forward to. And again, this is completely unscripted, so don't expect anything too formal or very professional, because putting the word professional and Makari in the same sentence is pretty much the dichotomy of that existence. So to start things off, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to read through this patch notes verbatim and pretty much summarize exactly what there is to expect. Starting off with patch update 29. This is one of the most innovative and interesting updates we have seen to date. The main functions of this update are going to be the following. The new frame Zaku, the helmet introduction, which is the ability of sacrificing some abilities from one frame and transferring them to another using the helmet. There is also a tutorial and new player rework. The quest Heart of Deimos and bounties and systems that they're in are now introduced through the new open world segment, and we're going to sort of explain all of this through this next little segment here. Starting with the Heart of Deimos quest. A new quest is available in your codex, Tenno. The prerequisites for Heart of Deimos is completing the Earth and Mars junction. The Heart of Deimos quest will introduce you to the newest open world, learn all about the denizens of the Cambion Drift and the souls lurking in the Necrolisk hub. I feel like some of the naming conventions here might have been stolen a little bit from Warhammer. Either way, this is our newest content, ladies and gentlemen. Our third and final, well, probably final of the introductory open world segments of the new open world contents. This infested open world is going to be a new venture and probably the most polished open world segment we've seen to date, boasting a new quest line, many new enemies, and many new systems therein, ranging from mining, fishing, killing enemies, bounties. Basically, if you've played Fortuna or Plains of Eidolon, this is that, only in infested form. There's going to be a lot of stuff here, especially an extension of lore. Whereas Fortuna and Plains of Eidolon have both been missing in that sect, this is now going to be pushing the lore aspect to another degree. So if you're a lore nerd, if you want to have a new adventure in the world of Warframe, then this will be something right up your alley, as there are going to be new systems you can grind out through the new syndicates, which are going to be the Entrati and the Necroloid. These will correlate to different systems within the world itself. They'll have opposing ideologies and opposing lore elements to them, so you'll need to sort of go through and find them out yourself. They'll have similar farming functions from the previous open worlds through bounties, harvesting minerals, fish, and general murdering, saving of floofs. Yes. And additionally now, tokens. Similar to how syndicates work with the regular syndicates in the things like New Loke and all that jazz, there are also going to be syndicates and other items you can additionally pick up to help give yourselves additional reputation. So if you just want to quickly look through this list here, as mentioned, there's a bunch of the similar and noticeable functions of earning reputation through fishing, mining, conservation, killing animals, and the tokens. And there are now also new types of bounties through isolation vaults and bounties as themselves. Obviously, with a new open world, they've innovated on what we have had already. The underground segment is kind of that innovation. It is a separate sect of the bounties, which is going to kind of push the idea of what we know of previous bounties from Fortuna and Plains of Eidolon and take them to a whole nother level. And that sort of then ties in with the Necromechs with the Necroloid Syndicate, which I think is going to be fascinating because we've all wanted to have a dreadnought to pilot at some point, for anyone that's liked some Warhammer. Me for certain. Now, in terms of the Necroloid, or the Necrozoid, sorry. It in of itself is going to be quite a stagnant set piece, wherein you will have a set number of abilities, which will allow you to basically decimate your enemies. Now, I am going to make a separate video on how to get your necromech, as it is a quite interesting system in of itself, but let it be known that you get them just by doing the process of Deimos. You do the main quest, and then you are able to use the necromech on any of the open world segments. They are not usable as it stands currently in the main missions of the normal star chart. But as with everything, necromechs will have their own unique abilities, they'll have their own unique mods, so for those that either love optimizing, you will be able to customize your necromechs to the way you personally want to play, which I think is absolutely awesome, because this then also will give us more open-ended areas to delve into later down the line, and for possibly even more. I mean, imagine Arcwing, where they and different and your arc gun deployer, if you will, where we have different systems that we can have a bit of fun with modding and optimizing ourselves in. So you could even see this as a way of classing yourself with different types of necromechs. So DE, get on that necromech PvP whenever you can, please. That'd be delightful. Anyway, moving on. There's going to be an array of different weapons you can equip with them. So kind of picture it as the K drives from from Fortuna, just maybe with a few more guns and death and destruction. Now, moving on, we also then have some additional minutia that's going in there as well. The Mousillon, which is kind of going in there with the necromechs. The conservation. These are kind of like I wouldn't say the integral parts of the game, but these are kind of like the wildlife, the overarching biodiversity of the region. I would recommend, if you want a bit more of an in-depth look at this kind of, to just pause and read this, but this sort of goes into how you're going to save what the animals you're going to save, the fish, the sort of, again, the wildlife. And it does seem like they've definitely taken a bit more of an invested interest in the diversity of the wildlife, because one of the biggest complaints we've had in the past is that although it's been fun to capture animals and to fish and whatever, it's never really felt that interesting, or the things we've actually fought for don't really seem to be that worth saving. No offense, the biz, but there's only so many Pobblers I can save before I wonder why the hell I'm doing it in the first place. So they've taken the existing systems once again and elevated them slightly. So you're going to have hopefully a bit more of a reason to go out there and save these animals and to hopefully fish some fish. Additionally, with that, you have new infested companions, the revivification process. You capture, you treat, and then you breed, and you get yourself a different breed of pet, which is basically going to be the Yes, new pets. These will essentially add for more things for you to level, more pets, more things to you to go out there and murder with. I think, honestly, I'm not too fussed with the idea of new pets, but having more things to run around with and kill, it's going to make us feel a bit more of a power fantasy. I believe, if chat is correcting me on this, I believe it is 6 new pets, all of which will have different functionality, different utility, and very likely we will make an individual video on these as well, as going into individual detail with these is going to get a bit wordy, and we just want you to know that there are new pets for you to get a hold of, and these will be through the process of conservation for the most part. New enemies, new factions, lots of new things. And on top of that, we're getting new mod sets with the Saxum, the Jugulus, and the Carnis mod sets. Each of these will have specific mod types and semantics going into them. I would highly advise taking a second of your time to read them. With the Saxum, the bonus of having them on is you are going to lift enemies and explode on death. With the Jugulus set, heavy slam attacks manifest tendrils that skewer enemies, kind of like Hydroid's tentacles, if you will. And then with the Carnis mod set, killing an enemy with heavy attacks grant 30% evasion and immunity to status effects. So they kind of embody a play style, if you will. Apologies for the doorbell you may have heard at the end of that. I am very unprofessional and probably didn't edit that out. But with this, there's also going to be some new weapons you're going to be able to get as well through the process of doing your regular Deimos content, which are the Trumna and the Specularum, which are thematically gorgeous to look at, and I can't wait to see how they're going to function. Additionally to that, we are then going to be getting the helmet system. Now, rather than going into detail with this on this video, just let it be known that this is how you are going to change around your abilities with different frames. If you want more detail about this, I would advise checking out my overall helmet guide. This is a very in-depth system that will require you to feed a giant mouth at the back of your ship and then build up reputation. Yeah, this is something you might notice with update 29. There's a lot of grinding. There's a lot of grinding, and there's something to be said about the amount of grind there is, but without going on a tandem. Yes, feed the mouth, give yourself abilities from one frame to another. And if you want to know more about that, again, go and watch my my Helminth video specifically. I mean, this sort of text here kind of summarizes a bit of it in terms of what ability sacrifice what frame sacrifices what ability, and how you transfer them. But if you want a bit more of an engaged approach to it, then that video will sort of cover it for you. And I think it's worth giving a bit of credence to Zaku, who, in my eyes, is probably one of the most interesting looking frames they've released recently. She definitely has a certain appeal to her. In fact, I do believe I'm playing her right now. Zaku looks gorgeous, and I do honestly believe that she is probably one of the more interesting looking frames they've released. However, in terms of her overall kit, I'm not going to say for certain whether she's a good or a bad frame as of right now. She's definitely fun. She's definitely powerful at what she does. I don't think she's going to be overtly that useful. Imagine Gauss. Gauss, very powerful, very fun, got a theme, but not that useful, as it were. But in essence, this is the kind of frame that you're going to have an unbelievable amount of fun to play. Her kit is very polished. She looks very nice. And yeah, I think could be one of the better frames they've released in quite some time. And that, for the most part, is the majority of the patch notes. In terms of what comes with Zaku, you got a Zaku collection, a lot of cosmetics. You got a fat set of fan blades for extra mastery. And finally, on top of all of this, we have the new player experience having been revamped. So that cinematic they revealed at last year's TennoCon in 2019, that now has something to go with it as well, which I think is absolutely fantastic, and I will be releasing a video of my experience of that to show you what to expect from it, because that is how you set a player up to experience Warframe. When the new player experience is better, player retention and overall player enjoyment will very likely go up with that. And then the rest of this is basically pretty much a lot of minutiae and a lot of miscellaneous things with K-Drive mods, more random mods, new market items. A lot of this I would just recommend reading through yourself. I'll have a link to the patch notes as a whole. This all then comes down to cosmetics with things like the Hydroid Deluxe skin. Again, some new mods. It's nothing too integral. And I think the last thing that's probably worth mentioning is this thing here, which is the daily standing cap changes. Without going into too much of a minutia, this change to the daily cap standing, the daily standing cap changes, this is kind of made to embody the amount of grind that is in Warframe. Because let's face it, Warframe has a big old grind, and with the amount of syndicates there are to grind, you want to make it feel like your time is really worth that you're spending. So basically what they've done is that they've made the minimal amount of rep you can earn at lower master ranks much higher, and they've increased the overall amount of mastery you can earn at the higher ranks, but the amount of extra mastery you can now earn at the higher ranks diminishes slowly over time. So by the time you get to master rank 29, 28, and 30, the amount of extra syndicate reputation you're going to be able to earn isn't as heavy as it would have been at the lower ranks. So you can see the difference here, where master rank 0 was earning 1,000 in a day, now they're earning 8,500, and it's that trend where the higher master rank you get, the less of an overall improvement you're going to see, but that helps those new players get that experience of earning reputation in the lower levels. So that's the video. This is to serve more of a how do you do kind of video than anything else. This isn't necessarily designed as a guide. This is just me reading off the patch notes, so we all know what's coming, we all know what to expect, and to say, come join us. We're going to be streaming. This is a big time in Warframe's content update, so hopefully you are going to enjoy this. Hopefully the grind isn't going to be too heavy, but let's face it, this is DE, so it probably will be. And nonetheless, thank you for watching. Let me know what you're looking forward to the most in the comments down below, and maybe we'll see you on Twitch. If not, I guess see you in the next video. Ta-ra!